Hello and welcome back, and thank you for being here. So, this is lecture number 5, and it's just a little bit about, it's more of a story really, about my own journey and the challenges that I faced on the road to who I am today. And you can see the storm and the boat. Yes, very dramatic. So, these two pictures. When I was when I was 8 years old, 1981, yeah, 7 years old, I went to a birthday party. And in the birthday party, I got this little toy gun as a present. It's like that had those little rubber caps that basically you shoot and they stick at anything. So I was shooting it around in my house and it was sticking to the wall and I was having quite a good time. But like a lot of children, I got bored of this toy. So I basically removed the rubber cap, so it just became this long piece of plastic. And I found a sharpener, a pencil sharpener, and I inserted this little piece of plastic into the pencil sharpened, and I sharpened this plastic stick, or bullet, so it became really, really sharp. And then I put these styrofoam boxes around my room, and I used to be really into comic books, so I put up pictures of the nemesises of my superheroes, and I'd be shooting it, and this bullet would be going through, yeah, like another level, forget the rubber caps. So what happened was the bullet strayed, and I took it and I had it kind of like I was trying to put it back inside, and it slipped, and at a very, very close range, it went straight for my left eye at 7 years old. It was very dramatic for my parents. I had 3 different operations, and so on. So put that aside. 2014, I was driving, and and it was just a very rainy and stormy night in Dubai. It doesn't really rain that often here, and that night it was a really, really terrible storm. And I just had a really, really bad car accident. The water and so on. I can go into depth about it, but it was really one of the most traumatic experiences of my life. And I had to have this major hip operation. And I spent 55 days not being able to put my leg back on the ground. Why am I sharing these stories with you? Because in both pictures, as you'll notice, I've got a big smile on my face. And that's just, I just say Alhamdulillah, which means I'm very blessed and grateful, because it's an outlook. It really is an outlook. It's the perspective of what could have been, and what might have been, and what we've been blessed with, and what we choose to focus our energy on. So starting with me as a child, I could have lost my eye completely. I could have been born blind. I couldn't have, there are a lot of possibilities, and I'm just really grateful that happened, because believe it or not, that actually served me later on in my life. I was exempt from the army in Egypt because of that. 14 years later, 15 years later, I go to the army and they're like, "What's wrong with your eye?" And I'm like, "I don't know, I had an accident." And they're like, "You can't go to the army like this, go back home." Maybe it's good, maybe it's bad, but I was exempt from the army. My car accident, it just taught me resilience, and it taught me that I have this really, really powerful spirit to live. I knew that about myself, but I didn't realize it until I had that car accident, and the doctor was like, "Okay, you can at least start your physiotherapy." And I was like a warrior every day in the pool, twice a day. The people in the building that I live in were like, "Who is this guy? And why is he going down to the pool on crutches? And just slipping into the pool and swimming and using kettlebells and getting stronger and fitter." So all I'm saying, I'm sharing these stories with you just so that you can get a little bit of my energy and my outlook about, and this is just, this is just a very, very, very small, taste of things that not only have happened to me, I'm sure have happened to you as well, happened to people that you know. So it's about perception, it's about resilience, it's about gratitude, it's about focusing on the positive. So thank you for letting me share my story with you. So choosing to be positive is a very, very, very important personal decision. Agreed, taken. There are mental challenges, there are emotional challenges, there are physical challenges. But the question that you have to ask yourself is, do you want to be a positive person? You don't want to be a positive person? Okay. It's your choice. You want to be a positive person? Let's keep going. This guy, this wonderful, happy dude who looks really, really, really ecstatic, is just going to show up once or twice throughout the lecture. So I'd like to know, on a scale of 1 to 10, how happy and positive do you feel right now? And hopefully, as we progress through this journey, your awareness of certain tools and certain ideas, doing the actual exercises, will raise your level of happiness and positivity. I'd like to share with you this one of my favorite quotes ever by Jalaluddin Rumi, who's a master, transcendent master and a Sufi poet and a really amazing, historical figure who wrote a lot of poetry, and it was mostly about his experience with ecstasy, but it's more like divine ecstasy. But a lot of his poetry that was actually written to describe his emotional connection with the divine was then taken to be expressed as the love between humans, as a man and a woman or a woman and a man. But it was actually written as an expression of his spiritual love. So yesterday I was clever, so I wanted to change the world. Today I am wise, so I am changing myself. And this theme will again, related to you become what you think about, related to be the change you want to be in the world, related to a lot of the continuous themes that we hear about in spirituality. It really is your own personal decision, your own personal choice. Yesterday I was clever. I wanted to change the world. I wanted to change what was outside of me. Today I am wise, so I am changing myself. And let me tell you, trust me when I tell you, when you change yourself, your reality changes, the world around you changes. That's the way it works. So thank you again for your attention and thank you for listening. So that's the end of the first section, which is the introduction. We talked about the 5 lectures. We're just a little bit about the course outline. We talked a little bit about what to expect from the course. Then we had the garden analogy. We talked about, the mind being the fertile soil, your thoughts being the seeds. You have the choice. Your actions, being the water. Your emotion being the sunlight. Then we talked a little bit about the bridge, which is the key concept in positive psychology, which is focusing on the positive and focusing on the strength and developing points of strength. And then I shared a little bit with you about my bio also, about who I am and what I do and why I'm here and what my purpose is and what my life mission is, and invite you to go along with me on this fantastic journey. And then we talked about just some of the stories of my life and how my outlook was affected. But even at a very young age, I'm just very grateful that was just a kind of an innate way of being. So thank you very much. That was the section 1, the introduction, and I'm excited to start the core content of the course now, which is the mind, as we dive into the section 2, the first lecture about the mind, which is going to be called the stress, the mental challenges and how it causes us stress. So, see you there. Let's go.